Coming up on Bloom, a movement in Tampa Bay to save our seniors.
During the height of COVID, I had 10 seniors contact me daily for access to fresh produce. But because there's such a need, there's so many wait lists. So Saving Our Seniors was created to fill that.
And later, girl boss Ivy Childers shakes things up in the Bloom kitchen with delicious mocktails. And a star-studded fashion show is happening in Tampa Bay to fight cancer. We'll have all that and more as Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, starts now. I'm Gayle Guyardo. Welcome to Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. It's April Fool's Day, so we're making sure you don't get fooled with your health care. And no medication or supplement can replace the need for a healthy diet. Experts will tell you it plays a huge role in protecting you against many chronic, non-communicable diseases, such as heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. And there are movements happening across Tampa Bay to get our seniors the nutritious foods they need for a healthy diet. Joining me now with how they are serving the senior community is the founder of Saving Our Seniors, Kelly Castro. Kelly, it is great to see you again.
Thank you so much for having us here.
Absolutely. So I know there's a big gap between seniors and all the care that they really need. And you stepped in on almost like a grassroots level. I met you years ago, and all you do is serve seniors, right?
Yes. I was an occupational therapist for so many years, so I sat beside them advocating for them. And when I started Saving Our Seniors, I wanted change for them.
So you started like with medical supplies, and now you've shifted into dietary needs. Why?
During the height of COVID, I had 10 seniors contact me daily for access to fresh produce, and I kept sending them away to resources that assisted with food at the time. But because there's such a need, there's so many wait lists. So Saving Our Seniors was created to fill that immediate gap.
So talk me through the produce pack. What comes in it? How is it designed?
So the produce pack was actually invented for people in the community to start getting, you could purchase the produce pack, and then in return we'll feed a senior, that's homebound, because our fresh farmers markets are at age-restricted communities and mobile homes, but there's, age-restricted mobile home communities and also recreation centers, but there's still a large gap that are homebound and they can't have, they can't get out. So this produce pack will be delivered right to their door.
And I remember you and I met during the pandemic, and I came out with my iPhone because I wanted to see what you were up to. And you were taking food and setting up resources going to the seniors, because so many times they don't have the energy, they don't have any way to travel, they don't have any help. So you go to them, which makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, when we first started, I think I was still in my Chevy Malibu running my fresh farmers market. So now we have increased to serving about 14,000 seniors a month. We give access to fresh produce. Actually, this morning we already served about 250 seniors before coming out here. That
is so cool. So this is something that if somebody's watching today and they're like, hey, I want to buy a produce pack, how much would this cost?
So the small pack is 10 items and it's $26.50, and the large pack is 14 items and it's $36.50, and it will be delivered to your door every Saturday if you would like, or you could decide when you would like it delivered.
And you could buy this for a senior. Like, let's say you don't necessarily need the pack, but I could say, hey, Kelly, I'd like to donate money and make sure that my produce pack goes to a senior in need.
Yeah, right on our website, producepack.com. You can either donate or you can sign up for your own pack. But then if you do purchase your own pack, another senior will be served too.
So I know you've been working tirelessly, and starting a nonprofit is not easy. It's really, really difficult. And I know you've been out networking with other women's groups, and you just found one that awarded you quite a bit of money.
Yeah, the 100 Women of Pinellas. It was a luck of a draw. We got picked out of a hat, and we were the third one to compete. So I got a little nervous that we weren't going to win, but we were able to, and we really needed that funding to be able to continue, our mission of no senior without.
And so it helped. So you got about 15,000?
I got 15,000 that we won, and then they have another grant that will match up to $5,000.
And that'll make a really big difference in your ability to help seniors.
Yeah, that money is going to the produce pack, so we'll be able to deliver, quite a bit of fresh produce to seniors in need.
And then in St. Petersburg, you also were entered an actual competition. You came in second, which is great because there were a lot of people there, and that too will raise awareness for what you're doing. So it's kind of this cool grassroots blossoming way of getting out your mission statement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much still one woman with a team of maybe 20 volunteers and 2 staff members, and the amount of people that we serve is incredible. So with Produce Pack, we would like to increase to about 28,000 seniors a month, being able to have that fresh produce, because truly food is medicine.
And what made you become so passionate about this? You said you were kind of in the industry where you would be around an elderly clientele, and what sparked the passion inside of you?
I mean, I feel like seniors have paved the way for so many of us, and as a society, we don't really, they're out of sight, out of mind. We don't really take care of them like we should. So it's my journey, my mission to make sure that everyone feels as a priority as they were, when they were working or putting into this community that we live in.
And I know that you said your late mom's probably smiling down. You almost felt like there might have been a nudge from her, from heaven, that her daughter is on the right trajectory.
Yes, I mean, my mother, I love her. I feel like she's still here with me, and she was my biggest supporter before she passed away. So.
Well, I know she's smiling down on you, and thank you for sharing this. And I did meet you on a very, you just picked up the phone one day and you called me and we met, and I'm like, so many years later, I'm glad to see you're doing so well and you're helping thousands and thousands of seniors. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're gonna share Kelly's story and how you can support saving our seniors on bloomtampabay.com. And when we come back, don't be fooled into thinking regular checkups and blood work screenings for everything will tell you what you need to know. That's why people in Tampa Bay are going high tech for preventative health.
So early detection, as with our fathers, as with anybody, gives you that chance. And again, grateful to have it here in Tampa.
You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.
The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Lifeguard Imaging.
Joining me now to talk about the importance of being proactive with your medical care and an important event coming up is Lifeguard Imaging's Director of Operations, Frankie Maldonado. Frankie, it's great to see you.
Good to see you, Gayle.
So Frankie, you had a friend who is a melanoma survivor. Her name is Mary Margaret, whose story is a perfect example about why it's so important to be proactive with your health.
It's true, yes. She is a nice, such an incredibly powerful, nice lady. Her son and our son have been going to school together for years. And you talk about a powerful, positive person. She is a melanoma survivor. We support her. We support the efforts that they have of any forms of cancer. But yeah, the importance obviously is that earliest possible detection. While our scans cannot perform topical evaluations like skin cancer, we're doing everything internally, but that's obviously a part of everybody's health and wellness program, or it should be.
And you both got involved with the Aim at Melanoma Foundation and the Steps Against Melanoma Walk, right?
We did. We're supporting that as we do here in town. We do the Treasure Chest Run with the Bucks for breast cancer every fall. We've been a part of events in Sarasota, Heart Walks as well down there. Anything that's having to do with early detection, we're obviously supporting. We are focused more, as you know, on the torso with our scans, all the internal organs, but anything that's for prevention and obviously early detection of these horrible diseases we're on board with.
And let's talk about lifeguard imaging and early detection and the body scans, because I just saw once again headlining network news that more and more doctors are getting behind what you're doing, because to be proactive in today's day and age is critical.
It is, and one of our patients who's come on the show with you, Dr. Drew Verano, actually just showed me a statistic earlier this week that I think they said the increased expectation of cancer patients by the year 2050 is going to be up by 77%. That's remarkable. And again, we can all speculate why we think that is, the foods we're eating, preservatives, what we're breathing in the air, what it may be, but that even magnifies the importance of an early detection scan, which is again why we do what we do.
Yeah, and actually, your doctor friend just came on our show who told us that he was a cancer survivor. Just by chance came here to the Tampa Bay area, got a scan, and realized the cancer had popped up again. He would have never realized that. So it is unbelievable how getting your hands on a problem early and getting medical intervention is also very important.
Well, any of these deadly diseases, you find heart disease early enough, you can get the procedures necessary to survive it. It's the same thing with cancer. I always say that the second toughest day for me to losing my dad, and maybe this happened with you, Gayle, we've never talked about this, was the day that we were told by the doctors that it was too late. And they said there's nothing we can do if we had found it earlier, if we could arrest it where it is now, but we can't. It is the most terrifying and helpless feeling in the world. So early detection, as with our fathers, as with anybody, gives you that chance. And again, grateful to have it here in Tampa that we can do that for the people here.
Yeah, I remember the call from my father's oncologist like it was yesterday when he said, I need you to come in with your dad for this particular appointment because he's going to need your support, because this is the appointment when I have to tell him we're out of treatment options. And had there been something like lifeguard imaging when my dad was younger, we would have seen this earlier, he would have gotten the treatment that he needed, and the scenario could have been a whole lot different.
And that's why, Gayle, we always talk about our annual scans, because the first scan for anybody could be clean. Maybe it's not, but it could be clean, but we don't know what's going to transpire over that next 12 months. And that's where our legacy imaging program comes in with annual evaluations, very much like women get mammograms, to capture at the earliest possible moment the changes that could be happening. And because of that, we're able to help so many people.
All right, Frankie, as always, it's a pleasure catching up with you.
You as well. Thanks, Gayle.
All right. The Steps Against Melanoma event is Saturday, April 7th at Al Lopez Park in Tampa. Registration starts at 8 a.m. and the walk begins at 9 a.m. And be sure to call today, 813-582-5222, or visit lifeguardimaging.com to take advantage of the Bloom special offer. A free heart scan when you mention Gayle or Bloom. That's a $599 value. So call today, 813-582-5222 for this special offer. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Lifeguard Imaging.
You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now, 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. Welcome back to Bloom. More Americans are cutting back on drinking alcohol, so we're giving you drink alternatives. Here with amazing mocktail recipes is the CEO and co-founder of Southbound Tequila, Ivy Childers. It is great to see you.
Good to see you.
So you are, when it comes to crafting cocktails, this is where you really excel. I know you teach people through your tequila brand, but if you're trying to cut back and you want to alternate, some with a little tequila, some without, you can.
You can. We cannot leave out the mocktails because I feel like, everybody gets all the love and attention with cocktails. And my thing is that I don't like it when people add in and supplement more sugars or more syrups to create more volume in the mocktail, because I wouldn't want to drink that. So my thing is, let's keep it all quality and simple ingredients, but let's elevate it.
And not with all the syrups, and you don't even really need the fake alcohol.
I don't think you do. I mean, honestly, nothing can replace alcohol.
Yeah, that is true.
We just have to accept that.
Right, exactly. And it's a more natural approach in a healthier way.
It really is. I think so. And I think people just want to enjoy the moment and socialize and be in that moment. And I think having a beautiful glass with a beautiful garnish is the way to do that.
Okay, so what is the first one?
Okay, so you're going to love this because these are all things that you have in your house. But this first one is a hibiscus margarita. Okay. And it's simple. So I'm going to pour this in. And I guess, would you do the honors of shaking for me? Because that's the thing, is that you need to shake your mocktails too. Okay. You need to, because it needs the cold and the dilution and the aeration. It just has a pre-froth at the top. So you need to do it. So this is coconut water. All right. So this also acts as a little bit of a sweetener, but it gives us that volume. So coconut water, some citrus. We're going to make one for each of us, by the way. That's why there's so many. Okay, this is a hibiscus tea. You just steep the tea. Super simple.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and so you're not getting a sweet, sweet fruit, but you're getting that hibiscus color and aroma.
What a great
from the
idea.
tea.
I like that.
And how healthy is that?
I like that.
So we pour that right in.
All right.
And then I always love to use for my sweetener the agave because I'm partial to the blue agave. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna pour this right in, and all these recipes are available to your viewers as well.
And the blue agave is to sweeten, and while I'm shaking it up, can you explain to our viewers, because again, we're a health and wellness show, so we're making mocktails today, but a lot of people do turn to tequila as a healthier alternative.
Yes.
And you say there's something to the agave with all of that.
Yeah, the blue agave is so amazing. Gayle's gonna shake it up. I'm excited about this. It's so amazing about the blue agave plant because what you drink your alcohol, it matters. Oh, you wanna pour some ice in? I like a dry shake though. That's what Gayle so amazingly, because people do that with egg whites. You shake it first, and then you add the ice to get your egg all frothy. So
I like that.
Didn't know you were doing that.
No, I like that.
So yeah, the blue agave plant, the natural sugars in the blue agave plant has a lower glycemic index. So we are going to process that into our bloodstream much slower and not have that sugar spike. So that's what makes tequila so superior.
Yeah, because I was reading it like aids in digestion.
It does, yeah. It has the fructans that act as fibers.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a superior spirit for sure. So now we've made that hibiscus. I'm going to make us both one. Beautiful.
Okay.
I mean, it's
That looks
springtime,
gorgeous.
you guys.
Yes.
It's springtime, and we need to get into it. We need to get into the mood. So imagine that. I think it's all about the glassware and the garnish to top this off, and no one misses a beat. And so I think we just add this beautiful orchid, which I just found out orchids are ingestible. They're
I did not know that.
Yeah, I was like, I had to look it up because I was like, I can't be poisoning people here, you know. So, and then we just top it with a little dried citrus, and you have a beautiful.
Cheers.
You wouldn't know the difference.
Oh my gosh, this is great.
Cheers.
All right, here's.
Mocktail number one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not too sweet. You
It's
can
perfect.
sip on this. Yeah, you can sip on this all night. No.
This is amazing. You're gonna love this one.
And I love that you asked this question, but just add tequila.
Yes, you can. The thing is, you can add the tequila to all of these recipes. We're just doing the healthy mocktail on Bloom.
Which is fun because you don't have to alter the recipe. Yeah, you can. So the next one I'm gonna do, it's really fun. It's a pineapple mint, mocktail. And what we do is we're gonna, I love using aromatics. Like again, fresh ingredients. So we're just gonna throw some leaves in there.
Okay.
And we're gonna use our bar tools because we are still, giving mocktails the honor that they deserve to look like a cocktail.
So you muddle that up a little
muddle
bit
it
in
up.
the shaker.
In the shaker, yeah. Just just get a little aggression out. Okay. I feel like people need here. Have you had a hard day?
Yes.
And so you can already smell that
You really
aroma
can.
release. And so fresh organic pineapple juice is naturally sweet as it is. So I think we just pour that right in. And then again, a citrus. And then the beauty of that coconut water is really a staple for me in these mocktails. And I think coconut water is also very hydrating.
It is. It is. Especially now we're going into the warmer months, and it's a great way to stay hydrated.
Exactly. I'm using less agave in this one because the pineapple is sweet enough. And so it's, again, just keep it simple, but keep it beautiful.
Okay, is that more ice and shake?
More ice and shake.
All right.
I love a sous chef.
I know, this is
I love
great.
a sous
It's
chef
good
because I can
times.
actually talk a little bit better because I'm not doing all the things.
All the stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And this is something that you do with your tequila brand as well, as you go out and you teach people how to craft cocktails and show them how it's done so that they're having a clean experience. Because whether you're drinking a mocktail or you're drinking a cocktail, the name of the game is keep the ingredients fresh and good.
Exactly. Whether it's a cocktail or mocktail, it shouldn't change. It should all be fresh and what you would want to drink, what you would want to put in your body.
Because the last thing you want is like a pure tequila and then you're adding a lot of weird chemicals.
Yeah, because then you're gonna get a headache and a hangover, and that's why I don't like to use cane sugar because that we can be very sensitive to that as we process that. So yes, clean ingredients. I just got a little pineapple, cut a little edge in there, cut a little opening, and then I think a sprig of mint would be nice.
Oh,
Just pop that in there. Might be a little long for this glass, but we can just
snap it off.
All
right, nice.
There you go. And then I think that we're ready to entertain.
I think we are too. All right, mocktail number 2, everybody.
Mocktail number 2, you saw how quick and easy.
I love it.
I know,
it's
good.
so perfect, and it's not sickeningly sweet at all.
It's not. And I
it's
think
like the perfect balance.
Yeah, the mint is also a nice little surprise. So yeah, it's fresh.
Right.
Okay, great, good. Okay.
And last but not least.
I know this is a little bit risky because
Okay.
it's an espresso martini.
Okay.
Do you drink coffee?
I do. I love it.
Okay,
All right.
so this is the thing. Everybody loves having an espresso martini these days. It's hot. It's like the new thing, right? And I will say espresso martinis with Southbound Reposado, incredible.
Delicious,
So
yes.
good because you typically make it with vodka. Once you do that, you won't do it again. I mean, you won't do it with anything else again. Do it with tequila. Okay, so I usually do really strong coffee. I was at a hotel this morning, and this is not as strong as mine, so I did a little adjustment. But just pour your espresso right in.
All right.
And water
Okay.
for volume and dilution.
All right.
Because you need to do that, but because you don't want to drink a really strong coffee. Right. And then we're gonna do we're gonna sweeten it up with our agave. Now I'm making 2 of these, so I am using I'm doing an ounce,
Okay.
half an ounce for each. Okay.
And we're going to post all these recipes online as well.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, like Gayle said, just add tequila.
Yes.
Just add tequila, and then I'm gonna stir this up a little bit, but I think that has a little pineapple.
All right. You want me to add the ice or no?
Yes, I do. Okay,
Okay.
we'll just. Okay, so add ice.
Okay.
And on this one, so add ice, and we'll shake this one a little bit longer.
Okay.
And as you can see, I just added coffee, espresso, and water,
Okay.
and sweetener, right? I don't think
I'll use this one.
I think people don't think this simple, but again, it's all about the glass you're holding and how you're feeling, and the social moment, and having that in hand. It's just so nice.
It is. It is.
And I think we underestimate that. People, here's what I don't like. Can I shake it just a little bit
Oh,
more?
yeah, sure.
Okay. I don't know.
All right, we shake it a little bit more.
Okay. I think what I'm going to use my strainer here because of the ice chips.
Oh, that looks really good. Really frothy and delicious.
Isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. And I understand it's just coffee and water, but it is an experience that you're providing.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, you could just wake up in the morning,
And
keep
do a
your
little-
family guessing,
Yes.
and just drink it just like this. There would be,
Love it.
keep them wondering. And then let's throw some, you want to throw some coffee beans?
Sure, and isn't it customary to do 3?
You're exactly right.
All right. Ooh,
Except for
except
good
for I
luck.
did way more than that.
She's going to have a lot of good luck. A lot of good luck.
I thought it was
I'll
so
take
cool.
that many.
All right.
Oh, look at that.
There,
okay,
I got
that's
3 that time.
perfect. Oh my goodness.
All right. Thank you so much. Cheers. Amazing stuff. Ooh, that's really good. We're going to share Ivy's recipes on BloomTampaBay.com. Stick around. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Bonneau Facial Plastic Surgery.
Aging is often thought of as wrinkles and sagging skin, but our next guest believes we have it all wrong and need to change the narrative of aging. Joining us now to explain is double board certified facial plastic and reconstructive surgeon, Dr. Sumit Bonneau. Dr. Bonneau, it's such a pleasure to have you on Bloom.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you say that we have this narrative about aging that needs to change.
So our current narrative, when we talk about aging, we talk about sagging skin, we talk about wrinkles, volume loss, texture change, tone change, and I feel these words color our treatments for aging. And I think that needs to change.
And so what is real aging?
Okay. Well, to start off, we start off with the anatomy. How is everything built? And the way it's built is you have bony skeleton, you have a muscle layer, and then you have these 3 outer layers. A deep fat, fascia, and skin layer. And these outer layers of the face are attached to the deeper structure with these ligaments, cutaneous ligaments that anchor it to the skeleton. And what happens is, as we age, first the volume is all up here, and it starts to shift into the lower face. In fact, the entire outer face slides, I call it a face slide, off of this construct. And this happens, you get a volume depletion in the upper face, and you get a volume overload essentially in the lower face. So I like to talk about this as a 3-dimensional volume shift of the deep face.
So how do you treat it? Because filling just the hollows doesn't work.
Right. To some extent it helps, but as this volume slides, you get this depression. If we just fill the depression, what happens is you're stacking volume on top of the volume that's already there. and that changes the proportions of the face. And when you change the proportions of the face, it just doesn't look right. And we see extreme examples of this all around. You see pillow faces people talk about, and that's from just stacking the volume above the volume that's already there.
So I know your work is like a work of art. You know, you take each patient individually. So, you know, how should we alter the narrative of what's being done?
So again, I always talk about, we need to talk about aging as this three-dimensional shift, and the whole face is involved in this. The brow drops, the lower eyes, as the cheek fall, you get hollows under the eyes, you get the jowls and falls into the neck. So I do the complete package. I rejuvenate the whole face. I do these deep plane facelifts, and the advantage of deep plane facelifts, you're shifting that deep volume. And once you shift the deep volume, you recreate the contours and the proportion that we once had. And once you recreate that, you get these very natural results. They look 20 years younger. No one really knows they've had surgery.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, traditional methods pull the skin all back, and you can almost tell a facelift from a mile away. And your procedure is completely different, and that's what makes it look so natural.
Correct, correct. So essentially, we're shifting the deep volume. We're recreating the anatomy that once was, that entire slide that happens. In the other procedures, you're just shifting the superficial skin. In this procedure, you're shifting all three layers as one unit.
Fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing this with our Bloom viewers.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
For more information, call their office at 941-966-FACE. That's 941-966-3223. Or visit their website at SarasotaFacialPlastics.com. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Bonneau Facial Plastic Surgery.
You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. We begin where your checkup ends. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. Welcome back to Bloom. There's a huge event happening in Tampa Bay, sure to sell out. The third annual Runway for a Cause to benefit the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is happening this weekend, Saturday. There will be food, fashion, and next level silent auction items up for grab. But again, this is all for an important cause and for people who have had their own personal journey with cancer, and they will be there showing tremendous support, and that includes our next guest, Craig Beckinger, who is chair of Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Visionary of the Year leadership team. Craig, welcome to Bloom.
Thank you, Gayle, for having me.
Well, we appreciate you coming because a lot of times you hear about these incredible events, which are so important that they happen here in the Tampa Bay community, but to meet a face behind it is also important. So tell me a little bit about your journey.
Sure. So I was diagnosed 7 years ago with stage 4 colon cancer. It turned out to be a high-grade B-cell lymphoma when they actually got down and did the diagnosis. So they gave me 3 to 4 months to live. That was in August of 2017. For insurance reasons, I was not able to start my treatment until November of 2017, so they waited 3 months to even start my treatment. So it was kind of dismal at that point in time. With, the outlook didn't look very promising. So,
but you did make it through that hurdle, but only to be slapped with yet another diagnosis.
Right. So after going through all of that, they did a treatment of, it was a backpack of chemo that I wore 7 days a week, and they did that 7 times. So I started November the 3rd and actually ended up in remission by January of the following year. So it was great grace of God that got me through it, I believe.
Now, you were the 6th member in your immediate family to battle cancer.
Correct. Both of my grandfathers passed away from cancer. My grandmother passed away from cancer. My mother had breast cancer, so it runs in the family. So
it started out with colon cancer, but then it went to a high-grade B-cell lymphoma.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, and so was that the treatment that you wore the backpack for?
It was, yes.
Okay, so talk to me about how you got so involved in fundraising, because I know you're breaking all kinds of records.
Thank you. I'm just passionate about paying back to the community, and I felt, if I made it through the diagnosis and I made it into remission, I was going to do everything in my power to pay back to the organization of Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. It's an amazing organization. They really pay back. They help the patients when they first get diagnosed and throughout the entire process. If you can't afford to get travel for your treatments or things of that nature. They'll help you with your travel. I actually was involved with Sharon Conklin's Runway with a Cause and her campaign 3 years ago. I was on her team. So by doing that, I was nominated the following year. So last year I was a candidate for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And I was the runner-up. I raised $137,000 in 10 weeks.
How were you able to do that?
It's really just about asking. Ask your friends, ask your family, ask the businesses, people that you know. People want to give. It's just really you have to go out and ask them.
And I think it's really cool that you understand that, you know, it's staying here and it really is helping people in need. Like, for example, my mother battled blood cancer, and she really, you know, she had to buy a plane ticket and fly to MD Anderson to be part of a trial. You know, there's so much that goes into treatment that falls outside of what insurance covers.
Yeah, by all means. So, I mean, really, LLS does help you. Our event that we're having this weekend is an amazing event. We'll have Runway for a Cause. It's at Union New America, and Gayle's actually one of the models, so thank you for being a model with us.
Yeah, I'm excited. I will be there in honor of my late mom.
Yeah.
And so what does it mean to you on a personal level to have the community come together like this?
It's just, when the community comes together, it shows the support that we have here in Tampa and how caring we are. It's amazing to see, you know, last year we raised over $513,000 from the campaign.
You're kidding. Well, you know, you mentioned Sharon and a bunch of Beasley Media Group folks were here, and radio personalities that are going to be on the show. And what's cool about the whole backstory is it kind of started as her initial campaign, but it was so welcomed by the Tampa Bay community that now we're in year 3.
Correct.
So just proof that people want to come out. Not only is it fun, and you'll see all the fashion and all the cool clothes, and there's some incredible auction items, as we mentioned. I think there's for all you T-Swizzle fans out there, there's some signed memorabilia that will be up for grabs, and it's a great lunch, a great vibe, great people. But it all is for a great cause.
It is, and the money goes to Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. It stays here in Tampa, so come out, support the event, get your tickets now. We will sell out, so it's this weekend. We look forward to seeing everybody there.
And congratulations on your journey. I know it's been a difficult one, but man, you've been an inspiration for so many people.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Runway for a Cause is this Saturday at Union New American. We'll tell you how to support Craig and post more information about the big event on bloomtampabay.com. And before we go to break, a special shout out to a local Tampa boutique, Bella Lucia in Hyde Park, for participating in the Humane Society's Give Back Day. A lot of us ladies stopped by last night to shop, and all of our purchases will benefit the Humane Society of Tampa Bay. And you don't just get to shop for a cause. It's an opportunity to meet cute animals up close and personal, and you can even adopt them. Follow the Humane Society of Tampa Bay to find out about local businesses supporting animals in need. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this. Living the Tampa Bay lifestyle means enjoying the sand, sun, and outdoors fun. So get out, get active, and nurture those healthy habits. Hey there, I'm Gayle Guyardo, host of Bloom. Now there's a new all-inclusive place with everything you need to shape your lifestyle, boost your health, and improve your wellness. BloomTampaBay.com, Tampa Bay's premier health and wellness website, made to help you feel good. Whether you're a fitness fanatic, beauty buff, or just want to take your first step towards positive change, this free website is for you. See the Bay Area's hottest fitness products, the latest workout crazes, and learn nutrition tips from the experts. Plus, discover local events and experiences designed with your well-being in mind. Cultivate a healthy mind, body, and soul. Check out BloomTampaBay.com, your local health and wellness website. That's BloomTampaBay.com. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and there is a major push to protect members of our military. Joining me now is retired Army combat veteran Ellsworth Tony Williams, who spent more than a half a century serving our country and working in a military environment. It's so great to see you again.
Thank you. How you doing?
So tell me a little bit about the Military Sexual Trauma Summit.
So one of the things that we're having a problem with in the military active duty is military sexual assault. And when a veteran becomes a veteran, they still carry that with them. So this summit really, and this is a different one, this summit is trying to address the military sexual trauma conference symptoms, but not just for the veteran, but for the families too.
So why did you decide to create this Military Sexual Assault Summit?
I wanted, because there's nobody talking about it, and you know, it's one of the biggest problems that women veterans have in the military. And they always say that Florida has the second largest women veteran population, and this is one of the problems that women veterans have. So I said, and women veterans have a twice the amount of suicide than non-women veterans who are military sexual trauma. So because Veterans Council Veterans, we do anything that deals with preventing veteran suicide. That's one of the reasons why we're focusing on it.
And I know this is something we've actually had people write in, and they're like, why don't you do more stories about this? And I think you can't really do a story until somebody like yourself comes to the table and says, hey, let's talk about this. So is it a bigger problem than many of us might think?
I believe so, and I mentioned before, so if we have the second largest women veteran population, and over 77% of veterans have a family member, what happens is what they go through is then transferred to the children and the family, and it becomes bigger. And now it's called generational trauma. So if we want to stop the children who are innocent from carrying on this burden, we have to start providing access to mental health for them.
Are these assaults happening while they're in service?
Yes, and like I said, so right now it's 8% for women and 2% for men, and it's still increasing even as we speak.
So I know that you're boots on the ground to try to help with this problem. Any success stories?
I just got a recent success story 2 weeks ago from when I was on LinkedIn. Somebody actually texted me and said, because of your post, I actually stopped thinking of suicide. She was a sexual assault survivor. So I have that, and then from the last conference, people come to me and said, thank you for giving us a voice. Thank you for caring.
And let's talk about the suicide rates, the depression rates. I mean, for males and females alike, but I just read a statistic that women are twice as likely to suffer from depression, suffer from suicidal thoughts. So how do you hope this summit helps people?
I think the first thing is that in this summit, you'll see others like you. You don't, because sometimes you feel like you're the only one. And so that's one thing. You get a chance to get a bigger tribe to see, hey, there's others like me. And then you bring all the assets, the resources. That's another thing that they don't know about. So this summit will also bring the resources. In fact, we're going to be at the Crisis Center of Tampa is going to be part of this, and we're going to have a tour with them. So they get a chance to see the resources that are available to them.
Yeah, because a lot of people feel lost and alone. Yes. And so you're bringing everybody together so people can learn, they can find out resources that are right here in the Tampa Bay community, and maybe they can also create a community and have someone to talk to.
It's important that it doesn't stop, it's not a one stop. And it also is important, it's not just females that are sexually assaulted, it's males as well. They have no voice. So as long as they're aware of that, and then we have more of the community coming together, then that veteran will not feel so isolated and struggling through this terrible event.
Well, I think it's incredible what you're doing. I know a lot of people in high places are getting behind this initiative. So thank you so much for coming on Bloom and sharing it with our viewers.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, the public is invited to the Military Sexual Trauma Summit. It's happening April 5th through the 7th at the USF ROTC building. What we'll do is we'll put everything that you need to know on bloomtampabay.com. And if you or anyone you know needs help, call the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-4673. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Well 13 on behalf of WellMed and Optum.
Welcome back to Bloom. According to a recent study in the Annals of Internal Medicine, older adults are seeing more medical specialists than ever before and are twice as likely to see a specialist when compared to their primary care physician. Joining us now to discuss is a family medicine specialist with WellMed and Optum, Dr. Audrey Beria. Dr. Beria, welcome to Bloom.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Dr. Beria, is it a problem that people are seeing all of these specialists?
No, it's not a problem per se. It's the fact that there needs to be coordination of care amongst the primary care physician and the specialists. So we don't want there to be a situation where there are so many specialists that a patient is seeing, which makes the care management that much more difficult. And let me give you an example of that. There was a patient that was seen by our office and then decided unbeknownst to us that they were going to go see a specialist. So we were prescribing a medication, and then the specialist was prescribing the same medication, and so the patient was taking double the dose of this said medication. And that is not good quality of care.
So what are some of the common mistakes that people make when they're choosing a medical specialist?
One of the most common mistakes that patients make is that they discuss the specialist with their friends and family, and they don't discuss it with the primary care physician, which in turn is where the coordination of care comes from. We're going to be sending you to a specialist that we've already vetted. And this is something that WellMed and Optum pride themselves on, is sending patients to specialists and the right specialists.
And when should someone see a specialist?
If you have a chronic condition or a new diagnosis, that's the perfect opportunity to discuss the specialists with your primary care provider. And let me give you an example of a case that was in the best for all parties involved. I was seeing a patient and did an EKG on them. The EKG was concerning to me, and I called up the cardiologist that I normally refer my patients to, and he was able to see the patient the next day. Not only did he see the patient the next day, but he also called me while the patient was in his office and gave me the treatment plan that we were all three a part of.
So you're actually making it a lot more convenient when it comes to coordinating, which has got to be a relief to the patient.
Absolutely. And this way, everybody knows, and there's no duplication of medications, nor wrong dosages of medications being prescribed. Everybody is in this shared decision-making of what the treatment plan needs to be.
So everything under one hub, it takes the confusion away from the patient, and it also makes things a lot more clear for the medical provider.
Absolutely, because there's sharing of information and the coordination of care.
So where can we go for more information?
Carewithresults.com is a great resource and has all of the topics that we discussed today.
All right, well, doctor, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to our Bloom viewers and explain this incredible program.
Thank you so much.
All right, and we will be back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Well 13 on behalf of WellMed and Optum.
Thank you so much for tuning into Bloom today. You can catch Bloom anytime by following us on social media. We're on all major platforms, so get a behind-the-scenes look at all of the innovative breakthrough health and wellness conversations and incredible guests that we have right here on Bloom. Well, we hope you'll tune in again on the next Bloom presented by Lifeguard Imaging. We're exploring how trauma affects the brain and actionable steps that you can take to build a better brain. See examples of what a healthy brain looks like versus one with emotional trauma, anxiety, depression, and PTSD. And the Happy Healthy Human coach, Michelle Cuff, is joining us in the Bloom Kitchen with a recipe to boost the brain-gut connection. So stay healthy, everyone, and I will see you on the next Bloom.
Content segments during Bloom were paid for by Bonneau Facial Plastic Surgery and Well 13 on behalf of WellMed and Optum.
Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.